Hello, and welcome back to another Velcro City Records tutorial. I'm your host, Daniel, and today we're going to be learning how to create a new disco. Alright, here we go. This is the drum loop that we're going to make, so here it is. Very simple kind of drum loop, but can be very useful to be able to make your own drum loop instead of getting them from sample packs. Okay, so let's break down the elements. Okay, so there are 5 elements within the track. You got a kick, 2 claps, a hi-hat, and a shaker loop. Start with a kick. Real simple. You want quite a beefy kick. I actually got this off a record. There's no processing going on here, no EQ as you can see over here, and no effects. You may want to add some light compression, although when I exported this kick originally, I already added compression, so I'm not going to add anything. Alright, the next step is your clap sounds. So I've got 2. Here's the first one. Very artificial sounding clap, and I've got it from a sample pack by Sample Magic, and the same one. Now this one is slightly lower down in pitch, and that's actually perfect. You want 2 claps that kind of sound a bit similar but different at the same time. Finally, the hi-hat. Very short hi-hat with a fast attack. It's kind of what you want. And a shaker. And this is actually one that I've recorded myself just into a normal condenser microphone. Okay, when we compile all those elements together, we get something like this. Okay. So first we start with a kick. I'm going to leave that dead in the center with a 4x4 pattern. Okay. The next step is these 2 claps. Now it's important to get the right balance on these. So just turn them down by 2 decibels and this one by 3 decibels. Doesn't really matter, just as long as you get a nice balance between the 2 claps. The next step is to pan this one to the right, as you can see here, and I pan this one to the left, as you can see here. And that just helps the stereo image, widen the stereo image. I'll show you without the panning. And then I'll show you with the panning. Now if you're listening on headphones, you should have noticed a difference there. Okay, next one is a hi-hat. As you can hear, this hi-hat is quite in, has a lot of low end taken out of it. Without the EQ, it sounds something like this. And then with the EQ, not a huge difference, but it does actually clear up the space in the mix. And I've just reduced this by 9 decibels and panned it slightly to the left. I've also put a sound effect on it, but we'll get to that a little bit later. The last one is the shaker. And without any other effects, it sounds something like this. As you can hear, it's kind of lost a bit of movement. If I put everything together without that, you'll notice it doesn't seem to be bouncing as much, and that's because I've actually sidechained the shaker. So now listen to it. It's kind of moving a bit more, and that's what the sidechain will do. So, in order to do that, all I did was I created a new channel with a sidechain on it. This is the volume shaper that I used in my previous video, but you can just use normal sidechain compression. And that's on a bus track, and I just routed the output of the shaker to the bus. Let me get this. Without it, and then with it. You can do here, just gives it a bit of lift. So the next thing I did was actually put the claps into a bus. So I'll just show you that now. Alright, don't be confused if you've never seen Cubase before. This is all quite simple. So what I did was I routed these two claps to a bus. So now both the claps can be heard just by soloing this channel. Once I did that, I created a effects channel over here and put a reverb on it. It's a 2-second reverb with a high pass filter and just a tiny mix value, and I'll show you why. What I did was I took the group bus of the claps and I created an ascend effect to the reverb, if that makes sense. And you don't want too much reverb on your claps, otherwise they just sound like very washed out. Sounds much better. And then I added the same reverb send to the hi-hat just to give it a bit more space. And without it, so it just gives it a bit more space. Okay, now we're nearly done. So the last thing I did was just on the output I have a compressor. This is just some light compression. I'm only putting the input up slightly, as you can see. It's not affecting it a huge bunch, but the attack is quite slow, and that's quite crucial in order to keep your transients. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And look out for some more Velcro City tutorials that we have coming up very soon.